The Highgate Vampire. Two bright red eyes pierce through the evening mist, like twin embers in a dying fire. A singular grey figure stood motionless between the ancient stone archway that marked the entrance to Highgate Cemetery, and yet no sooner had I seen it, it was gone, melting into the hazy background like nothing was ever there. But I knew it was still watching. Highgate Cemetery became the centre of media attention in the late 1960s after a string of young people were caught vandalising the area and performing what they referred to as occult rituals. The primary culprit in all of this being the self-appointed High Priest of Highgate, David Farrant. Circular patterns of flowers arranged around desecrated graves, satanic symbols carved into tombs, late-night rituals, and even an iron stake in the form of a cross impaled into the breast of a corpse. These were just some of the many acts which drove the surrounding population into a frenzy, ultimately leading to the events that occurred on Friday the 13th of March, 1970, where a mob of would-be vampire hunters and the general public, led by Sean Manchester, scaled the walls of the cemetery to hold their own makeshift exorcism. Some 6 months after the events of this, the charred and headless remains of a woman, found dragged from the catacombs, was stumbled upon by two young girls on their way back from school, an act Farrant denied to have any part of, yet in 1974 was charged and jailed for nearly 5 years for his parts he played in the manifestation of this mass hysteria, in which he would continue to fight against and deny until his death in 2019. Over 5 decades have passed since those events, yet still to this day, countless people have been reported missing in and around the area. Lone people wandering back from Camden seem to vanish without a trace, occasionally their bodies being found hidden deep within the crypts. My house overlooks Waterloo Park, the gardens which are connected to Highgate Cemetery, and as such have always known about the history and the stories of this place. In the evenings, I would sit by my bedroom window, staring out over the grassy fields as shapes writhed and moved within the darkness, watching shadowy figures illuminated only by that of dim lamps and the glow of the moon, as people took late-night strolls through this picturesque slice of nature carved deep within the urban sprawl, unknowing of the history bound to this location. Now you have to remember that although stories and rumours are commonplace around these parts, that's exactly what they are, myths and legends. London has its fair share enough of problems without having to invent invisible monsters that prowl the streets at night. Still, it was that one night, when just gone midnight, the sounds of screams woke me. Eyes still blurry from sleep, I clumsily forced myself from my bed and rushed to my window, straining my vision as far as I could through the evening fog. I could see two figures, one running, dashing across the field to get away from the other, their would-be attacker. I could only imagine it was some kind of assault, something far more sinister and darker than any kind of made-up vampire. Nevertheless, not one to idly stand about and watch someone suffer, I picked up my phone and began to call the police, slipping on my clothes as I did. The police might take a few minutes or so to respond, but at least I could try to intervene, hoping just my presence alone would be enough to dissuade them, scare them off. As I made my way down the stairs, I heard that familiar response of the 999 operator.
Which emergency service do you need?
I need the police, I yelled down the phone, fumbling with my shoes before making it outside of the front door. A chill wind hung upon the air as I made my way across the road at a sprint, all the whilst trying to answer the call operator the best I could.
Right, and whereabouts are you now, sir?
Waterloo Park, Highgate.
And what is happening?
Someone looked as if they were being attacked. I heard a scream from the park and I saw someone running.
Is the suspect still there?
No, they've just started running over to the cemetery. I'm trying to find them right now.
Sir, is there any immediate danger to your life or risk of violence?
Yet the voice had begun to crackle. I was already halfway through the park at this point. The ice-cold air clung to my lungs and stripped me of my breath as I dashed over sodden grass and slick stone paths.
I can't see where they are anymore.
I shouted with a tremble in my voice.
Sir, can you hear me? I said, are you in immediate danger?
But the voice broke and crackled more still. I froze. My blood ran cold as the scream pierced through me, distant yet terrifying, like the swan song of a life snubbed out before its time. Abandoning the call with the operator, all I could think to do was get there as quick as I could, try to intervene, save whoever it was from this monster that was chasing them. I was so close to the entrance of the cemetery, my feet finally colliding with the solid ground floor when I slipped, my feet giving out beneath me as I tumbled head first down to the floor. Dazed and out of breath, I picked myself up and gazed down at my hands to notice the glisten of fresh blood, not from a cut or a scratch, but from the droplets that sprinkled across the floor. As I lifted my head, I saw them. 2 bright red eyes pierced through the evening mist, like twin embers in a dying fire. The police arrived at the scene some 10 minutes later, sirens roaring as they pulled up outside the cemetery. Yet still, I sat there on the floor, too shaken to move, paralyzed by what I had seen. Officers proceeded to search the area and found more traces of blood deeper within the cemetery. It was concluded that the blood belonged to that of a young girl who was only reported missing 2 days later, yet no body has ever been recovered. No one else witnessed the incidents of that night. No one else saw the figures or even heard the screams. Because of this, for the better part of 2 years now, I have been questioned. For 2 years now, I have fought to prove my innocence. For 2 years, I have steered clear from looking out of my window for the fear of seeing those eyes floating in the mist once again.